Okay, Christina here to listen to some music, and today's music selection is Spinning Wheel by Blood, Sweat, and Tears. This is the first Blood, Sweat, and Tears on the channel so far. Spinning Wheel was also the winner of the poll for Blood, Sweat, and Tears songs. You can find those polls on Patreon or available for channel members on YouTube if you're interested. I don't know much about this group going in here, but I have been told just a little bit that they started in New York City in 1967. I know that this song, Spinning Wheel, came out in 1968, so early on in their career. Otherwise, that's about it. But we will learn as we go. And there are other things we can learn here as well. I am a professional classically trained musician, instrumentalist, vocalist, composer, and professor. So we dive in to all different details like the compositional structure, the instrumentation, music theory, possibly some instrument demos, and of course, how do we relate to this music? Why do we like it? Or maybe why do we not like it? So, no more delay. Let's listen. Okay, here we go.
What goes up must come down. Spinning wheel, got to go round. Talking about your troubles, it's a crying sin. Ride a painted pony, let the spinning wheel spin. You got no money and you got no home. Spinning wheel, all alone. Talking about your troubles and you never learn. Ride a painted pony, let the spinning wheel turn. Did you?
Okay, got through the little first section there. Wow. Okay. There wasn't any part of that that was not enjoyable. Everything. The quality of the musicianship, the instruments that were used in this opening section, the brass, the guitar, the awesome octaves in the piano, the drum, and the vocals. And then you add in on top of that all of the jazz chords in this. That it started with like that little fade in, that big crescendo on the seventh chord. Awesome. This is awesome. It's like equal parts groove and smooth. But so I guess it's really balanced to my ear, but at the same time, it seems like it's really unpredictable. This is really great. I started to get chills from this. All right, let's get into the new section. We'll back up a little bit. Here we go.
And you never learn. Ride a painted pony, let the spinning wheel turn. Did you find the directing sign on the straight and narrow highway? Would you mind the reflecting sign? Just let it shine within your mind and show you the colors that are real. Someone is waiting just for you. Spinning wheel, spinning true. Drop all your troubles by the riverside. Catch a painted pony on the spinning wheel ride.
All right, we're headed into the instrumental solo section. Ooh, who's going to be put on the spotlight? This is great. I already heard the bass and the piano. Okay. All right. I am really getting swept up in this. It's the chords. I love a good seventh chord, y'all. So this is really, there are a whole bunch of them to choose from here. And then again, the smoothness and then the groove that it's setting. The brass. It's quite a little brass choir they've got going there. They are fine musicians, and they're able to, act as one instrument together as a section. And I think, we hear a couple of trumpets, at least two, maybe three, and then at least one trombone, maybe a bass trombone. I don't know. It's just a really well-balanced complement for the brass instruments. But the way they behave musically is very satisfying to listen to. How they start soft and get louder, the crescendo. And the stingers, or we call them sforzando, with a crescendo after that. It's just executed very, very well. And then in the little B section that came along there, the sustained chords in the back were so smooth. Like, I was like, oh, yeah, now we really are smooth. So it's like groove, smooth. Now we're back into the groove. And there's just so much going on. It's a lot of fun. I'm really digging this one. Okay, let's back up. I gotta hear the instrument solos. There are going to be some solos, right? Somebody's going to be featured, right? Have some improv, maybe? This is fantastic.
Goes by the riverside, catch a painted pony on the spinning wheel ride. Someone's waiting just for you. Spinning wheel, spinning true. Drop all your troubles by the riverside. Ride a painted pony, let the spinning wheel fly.
Okay, whoa. Where are we spinning off to here? Okay, awesome instrument solo section there. That trumpet, that was pretty great. I liked how they were pushing the boundaries of the notes way up high. Was it noisy? Mm-hmm. Was it artistic? Mm-hmm. That's not how a classical player would be playing, but you know what? That's okay, isn't it? I love the messiness in this. Even though it's so well balanced, all of the musicians are sitting back in all of the beats, but they're still all really together. That's a good sign of a good jazz ensemble, that they're able to do that all together. But at the same time, they're able to experiment. So I was really enjoying what the trumpet player was doing way up there, even though it's like, that's okay. That was awesome. Yeah, we heard the bass and the piano featured, and yeah, then just a good old jazz improv moment. That was great. Loving the trombone. Brr, that's always fun. And then where we ended up here, it kind of went into a little funny waltz in 3 with the brass, and then we suddenly switched to recorders. And what is that song? Okay, anyway, whatever that traditional folk tune is or whatever, we'll get to it. Not sure where we're going. Got a minute left of this. I am very interested to hear. let's back this up and get into it. So I think we're in the little waltzy spot.
That wasn't too good.
Okay, that was hilarious. Okay, well, that was a very interesting ending to this song. Never would have guessed that. But it was really entertaining because everything kind of just sort of devolved. So, yeah, it was not so balanced anymore. It was not so smooth. It was, you know, but that's kind of cool. It sort of deconstructed itself. And I love when pieces of music will do that. It's sort of like it has nowhere else to go. So it's already balanced and perfect. And then, well, I guess it's sort of like the spinning wheel. It's supposed to run smoothly. And then if you kind of bump it and it gets a little wobbly, we sort of lose control. I didn't catch the words. Sorry, everybody. Just the what goes up must come down. Something about a pony. I'll take a look at the lyrics just a second. But I just feel like we kind of were spinning out of control. Things were getting a little wacky. But it was really neat. And we heard other woodwind instruments in there. So we had brass. We switched over to woodwinds. So heard clarinets. There might have been, a regular, like a B-flat clarinet, maybe a bass clarinet, or maybe that was a saxophone in there as well. But then all of the little recorders. And so I do admit that, the beat, the tambourine beat towards the end kind of got off a little bit. And I was trying to conduct, like, hey, everybody, eyes up, this is the conductor's always trying to get the instrumentalists to watch them. So I was like, whoa, everybody pay attention. But that's kind of the fun in it. It just sort of spun out of control. And then the fact that we hear the band members giggling about it, that was really clever. I really like that. So this makes me want to spin backwards here and go back to the beginning and hear where we started, just so that we can appreciate that nice balance that we started with. But maybe we should look at the lyrics first. I'm sorry that a lot of you know that my ear hears the music first and then the lyrics. So this is one of those. There was just so much going on, right? Yeah, it's going to happen. Okay. What goes up must come down. Spinning wheel gotta go round. Talking about your troubles is a crying sin. Ride a painted pony. Let the spinning wheel spin. Got no money, got no home. Spinning wheel all alone. Talking about your troubles and you never learn. Ride a painted pony. Let the spinning wheel turn. Did you find a directing sign on the straight and narrow highway? Would you mind a reflecting sign? Just let it shine within your mind and show you the colors that are real. Oof, okay. What? These are very colorful, descriptively. It mentions colors, but it's messing with what's real, what's being reflected to us. Do we know which way we're going? Are we spinning out of control? I don't know what the painted pony means. I'm not remembering right now what that refers to, but that's okay. If you know, let me know. Again, we're here to learn. It's just not coming to me like what that refers to. But there are troubles and like things just keep spinning, and sometimes you feel alone. You never learn. But maybe you gotta learn. You gotta be self-reflective here, and you gotta learn things as we go, because life is just gonna keep going. And if you don't watch out, you can spin out of control. Maybe? Okay. Well, it did spin out of control. That was really cool. Okay. What a great representation. I love that. I do. Like, I totally got that before reading the lyrics, if I'm reading them correctly. So, as I said, let's go back to the beginning. Let's hear where we started with this excellent. I think there was a chord that brought us in, a brass chord. Love it. And it goes up the octave.
What
Nice.
goes up must come down. Spinning wheel.
Cowbell. Okay, that's awesome. I love the combo of the bass and the keyboard. I love that octave line down there. I got to try to play it. Hang on. Turning on my keyboard. Is that right? Let's hear it again.
What goes up?
That. So normally that would go, but it goes and then down. That right there. I already heard that and I was like, that's interesting. What's going to come next? Here we go.
Must come down.
Nice. And then it follows through with that pattern. And we're really hearing that octave there. So it's just two notes. They're the same note, but one's a little higher and one's a little lower, right? That's what an octave is. And so you're hearing that on top of the bass. They're playing in unison there. And then you bring in the cowbell. Like, something needed to come in. I didn't know. I figured it would be some kind of percussion instrument. And I was like, yes, cowbell. Awesome. Don't hear that often in bands. Okay, and then what happens?
Spinning wheel, got to go round. Talking
And then the
about
drum
your
set,
troubles, it's a
tambourine,
crying
awesome.
sin. Ride a painted
Nice.
pony, let
So that, awesome. Okay. The trumpet, at least, has some really great jazz chops there. The vocalist, that voice, I could listen to this voice a lot. It's a good solid like baritone voice, which is between a tenor and a bass. So tenor is the higher male voice, bass is the lowest male voice, and the baritone is kind of in the middle there. So really gorgeous tone to his voice, but then there's a little bit of that raspiness to it. I really, really love that voice, and he uses that sort of like a vocal fry, that grumbly sound. And then what was that weird thing when he lifted off out into space? I don't know, but you know what? I kind of loved it. And then it left the door open for more stuff later, of which we know what that was. With, the devolving of everything, it all kind of fell apart. It totally fell apart, right? And it was almost like it was mocking itself with a dan, 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 and then the recorders, like, it's so juvenile, but it's so cool. It's almost like we're looking at our younger selves and just like, oh, how cute, we were so naive back then, but just kind of maybe being able to laugh at ourselves. I happen to think that's one of the best qualities in a person, is if they can laugh at themselves. And I think that's what this whole song is. Just kind of laughs at itself. But this beginning part here, like the main bulk of the song itself, is just really, really high quality. It has the confidence in itself to be able to go back and laugh. So let's hear what I was talking about with the sforzando. I think it was right here.
What goes up must come.
No, okay, let's try that again. Where is it? I'll find it. Hang on.
Your troubles and you never learn. Ride a painted pony, let the spinning wheel turn. Did you?
So a sforzando is like a hit. Boom. You're in a certain dynamic, a certain volume level, and then there's one note that needs to stand out. But it's also almost like a forte piano, which means it's loud, but it could be a sforzando and then a piano. So loud sting right there on the note, and then back to a piano, which means soft, and then a slow crescendo. And it takes a while to sort of develop, at least with whatever instrument you're playing, to be able to do that efficiently. But then everyone doing it the same, there's some good practicing here. Okay, then I want to move forward just to see how it sort of sits back. I hope I can describe that appropriately. Oh, that rhythmic crescendo there, where the that was great.
Just for you.
There.
Spinning wheel.
Okay, ba da da dum. That right there. It's not da 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 dum. It's da 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 da. They wait just a tiny bit. It's laid back just a little bit.
Is waiting just for you.
Yeah, it's just delayed ever so slightly.
Spinning true. Drop all your troubles.
I was hoping we'd hear that again. Oh, that's funny too. See, we're already laughing. Right, okay. This is making a lot of sense. I do hope I'm getting the meaning of it right. And if not, that's okay, right? It's our own interpretation that we can sort of walk away with. This is what I'm walking away with, and I love it. If there's another one, let me know. If there's like an official one that the band meant, and it's different from what I'm thinking, I would like to learn what that is. But for now, I think I'm going to walk away with, being confident, but having a sense of humor about ourselves. Okay, that was Spinning Wheel by Blood, Sweat, and Tears. This group is fantastic. Are all of their numbers, are they all jazzy like this? And if they are willing to experiment and put in this kind of thing, like how it all kind of fell to pieces at the end, and the trombone slide, and all of that, if they're willing to experiment with this, what else are they willing to do? And I do love a good brass section in a band. Like, we've had some Chicago on the channel so far, and I love it. It's a great infusion. But again, all of the musicians here were fantastic, even when they were playing badly at the end. And that vocalist, I could listen to that voice for ages. And I think for those of you that are fans of this group, I think maybe you have. Does he stick with the group through the years? And soon I will be going on to the second place winner. I don't remember what that is offhand right now for the poll. All right, we'll get there. And just in general, I am so happy to be getting to know this group. What a surprise this was. A very pleasant surprise. And also a good laugh. Wasn't expecting that either, but I will take that with a piece of music like this any day. So thanks for joining me. Don't forget you can take part in these polls on Patreon, or if you're a channel member on YouTube. Helps me decide what I listen to here on the channel, just like this one. And as always, just remember that you don't have to be perfect. Just be okay. Go ahead and laugh at yourself a little bit. And keep listening.